You are listening to a series of 10 podcasts on the American presidency, presented by Citizen U. Episode 8. Explain the role played by the White House office, the President's cabinet, and the independent regulatory commissions. Let's look more closely at the modern presidency. To be a successful president, one must possess certain essential qualities. Yet we must remember that to be a successful president requires more than the skills one person can possess. The American presidency encompasses a vast executive branch. It is more than one person. Here is the essential flowchart of the executive branch. The buck may stop on the president's desk, but it must pass through a large, complex bureaucracy known as the executive branch. President, Chief Executive. Vice President, few formal powers other than to preside over the Senate. Presiding officer of the Senate has one power, to break tie votes. White House office. These hundreds of employees are the president's closest friends and advisors who help him the most with political and policy decisions. Cabinet. Made up of the secretaries of the executive agencies, Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Treasury, and others, the cabinet represents the hundreds of thousands of executive branch employees who enforce public policy. The cabinet has grown weaker over time as each secretary spends more time securing the stability and budget of their department rather than giving unfettered advice to the president. Independent agencies and government corporations. These executive branch functions lie outside of the executive departments. Examples of independent agencies would be the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, and the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. Examples of government corporations would be Amtrak and the United States Post Office. The executive branch of the United States employs close to 3 million workers. The vast majority of these workers do not change every 4 years like the president. Many presidents complain that this unyielding bureaucracy makes it difficult to get anything done. When government is asked to do something, and it is asked a lot, somebody has to do it. Democratic governments have been instituted to serve the people. The legislative branch and their respective legislatures respond to the needs of the people by writing laws. In our United States government, Congress is responsible for creating public policy. The executive branch is given the primary function to implement these policies. The President of the United States and his staff execute the laws. This is no small task. The large arm of the executive branch responsible for translating laws into action is called the federal bureaucracy. The federal bureaucracy is the government means to a public policy end. When we want our government to do something, it is the federal bureaucracy who is responsible for doing it. The federal bureaucracy transforms our wishes into realities. The federal bureaucracy transforms federal policy into action. Those individuals who transform public policy into actionable services are federal bureaucrats. As the action figures in our government, they come under frequent criticism and attack. Characterized by its hierarchical organization and specialization, the ever-growing federal bureaucracy has been asked to address more and more. With its size comes inefficiency and unresponsiveness, making us wonder if we can live with it. One thing about the federal bureaucracy is certain, however: we cannot live without it. With that in mind, what are essential qualities needed to be an effective president? Can one person truly bring about change? Look at successful presidents for a hint. What can one person do to make a difference? Within a 4-year term, no less. You are listening to a series of 10 podcasts on the American presidency, presented by Citizen U.